In the summer of 1952, Washington, D.C. went into a panic. Radar operators tracked impossible targets over the White House, and headlines across the country asked if we were being invaded by visitors from the stars. Since then, we've spent decades scanning the night sky, looking for nuts-and-bolts ships traveling across the galaxy. But the data defies that space-age paradigm. Pilots describe solid objects performing instant right-angle turns at supersonic speeds, accelerating without inertia, and vanishing in midair. In the philosophy of the Seth material, the texts channeled by Jane Roberts, the most bizarre part of a flying saucer sighting is the fact that human eyes can physically see it at all. Seth argued that our foundational question is flawed. These objects represent dimensional bleed-through, appearing from adjacent, overlapping planes of reality rather than crossing the vacuum of space. Understanding the military's tracking data requires us to look past telescopes and focus on the friction between parallel worlds. Imagine the universe as an infinite stack of overlapping frequencies. Each is its own plane of reality, governed by an entirely exclusive set of physical laws. Seth called our physical laws camouflage. To exist here, energy must lock into the molecular shapes our dimension allows. When an entity from a neighboring plane enters our frequency, its foreign energy pushes against our rigid grid, causing it to flash with visual friction. The cameras are capturing a live dimensional breach, the visual byproduct of incompatible operating systems of physics colliding in midair. This deconstructs why these sightings consistently take the shape of metallic saucers or flying cigars. This is the dilemma of form. Caught in a dimensional tug-of-war, the visiting energy is trapped between its native structure and our physical camouflage. Like mixing a horse and a dog, the saucer is a compromised state required to make the energy momentarily visible. This transition explains the impossible physics reported by pilots. When a craft pulls an instant right-angle turn, it isn't using an advanced thruster. Instead, the entity has momentarily re-established its native dimensional laws, freeing the craft entirely from Earth's gravity and inertia. This seemingly advanced propulsion is a temporary glitch in dimensional translation. This shifts the investigation away from the object in the sky and toward the biological limitations of the observer on the ground. Seth's primary rule is that you cannot understand a perceived event without first understanding the limits of the perceiver. Our senses act as a desperate filter. When formless energy enters our field, the brain interprets it as a recognizable object to prevent psychological collapse. The phenomenon reflects the rigid boundaries of our own three-dimensional senses. In this framework, there are no true aliens. There are only connected consciousnesses operating on different frequencies. We can apply this to the next breaking news story or declassified video that captures the world's attention. The instinct to look at the stars is outdated. The reality is found looking inward at the fabric of our immediate environment. UFOs are the brief, bright flashes of visual static that happen when two overlapping channels of reality bleed together on the same screen.